Isabella lived in a quaint coastal town known for its cobblestone streets, lively markets, and the sound of waves crashing against the shore. Her studio, perched high on a hill, overlooked the ocean, where the sunlight would pour through wide glass windows, illuminating walls adorned with her artwork. Her paintings were masterpieces of emotion and color. She had a unique gift for capturing fleeting moments, the laughter of a child, the soft glow of dawn, or the wistful melancholy of autumn leaves falling. Her work hung in galleries, homes, and even the mayor's office. Isabella was the pride of the town. But behind the doors of her bright, cheerful studio, Isabella was a woman adrift. Isabella's life had become a pattern of monotony disguised as success. Each morning, she rose before dawn, her apron slung over her shoulder, as she prepared to face yet another day of fulfilling commissions. Though her name was celebrated, Isabella felt a growing void within her. Her once vivid imagination seemed clouded, her once joyful strokes reduced to careful precision. She couldn't remember the last time she painted simply for herself. One evening, after delivering a commissioned portrait to the gallery, Isabella lingered by the window. The passers-by admired her painting. "She paints the world so beautifully," said one. "But don't you think her paintings feel a little hollow?" the other replied. Isabella froze. The words cut deep. Hollow. Was that what her art had become? That night, unable to sleep, Isabella wandered through her studio. Her eyes scanned the countless works lining the walls, landscapes, portraits, and still lifes, each flawless, yet each felt strangely distant. As she sifted through a stack of unused materials, her hand brushed against something rough and dusty. She pulled it out and froze. It was a blank canvas, forgotten beneath years of work. Isabella's mind raced. She remembered buying this canvas years ago, not for a client, but for herself. She had planned to paint something deeply personal, something meaningful, but time, and the demands of others, had buried it under layers of obligation. She set the canvas on an easel and stared at it. It was blank, empty, and yet it felt more alive than any completed piece she'd done in years. The next morning, Isabella packed a satchel with paints, brushes, and the blank canvas. For the first time in years, she stepped out of her studio without a plan or a deadline. She wandered down to the beach and found a quiet spot near the water's edge. The rhythmic sound of waves filled the air, and the salty breeze kissed her skin. Isabella sat down and began painting. At first, her strokes were hesitant, unsure, but as the morning turned into afternoon, she found her rhythm. Her brush danced across the canvas, capturing the waves, the sunlight glinting on the water, and the distant cliffs. For the first time in years, she felt free from judgment, free from expectations. Over the next few days, Isabella explored the countryside. She painted wildflowers in a sunlit meadow, an old tree standing resolute against the wind, and even the marketplace, bustling with life. Each canvas was filled with things she loved, things that spoke to her soul. One afternoon, while painting a field of golden sunflowers, a young girl approached her. "What are you painting?" the girl asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Isabella smiled and held up the half-finished canvas. "It's the things I love," she replied. The girl studied the painting and then looked up at Isabella. "It looks happy," she said. The girl studied the painting and then looked up at Isabella. "It looks happy," she said. The simplicity of the girl's words struck a chord. Isabella's throat tightened, and her eyes welled with tears. For years her paintings had been admired for their technical brilliance, but now this child had seen something far more important. Her art wasn't just beautiful, it was alive. The townsfolk noticed the change in Isabella's art. Her new works carried a depth and warmth that touched people in ways her earlier pieces never had. Isabella had learned an invaluable lesson. Life itself is the greatest canvas, and it's not just about what you create, but how you live while creating it. Through her journey, she rediscovered the importance of balance, of honoring her passion while nurturing her soul. Isabella's story reminds us all that sometimes, to find ourselves, we need to step back, reflect, and begin again.